The referendum is not about Cameron's reforms. The referendum is about in or out of the European Union, a much longer term, bigger issue. His reforms can be changed when we come back to power. Opting out, walking out on our neighbours, slamming the door, is something that would be much more difficult to change if that were ever to happen.
People have lost some faith in the European institutions, but my argument is that nobody's perfect, that of course there are lots of things that go wrong with our admin system here, and we do make mistakes here too. But it's how to get the arguments across and get people to also have the proper discussions, perhaps by using different means of getting that message across and a different way of getting people involved. And I think that certainly can be done.
The European Union is not perfect by any means, and there are many reforms, and I could sit here and talk all day about what those reforms ought to be, and we all have different ideas on what should and shouldn't happen. But fundamentally, we need to stay part of an organisation, a set of organisations that allows us to pool our resources to work collectively on shared problems.
The people who feel most strongly against the European Union are the generations that are dying off, and it's young people who are instinctively sympathetic to the whole idea of openness, to the idea that you can travel anywhere in Europe you want, that you can work and study anywhere.
Whether we like it or not, we are a group of highly interdependent neighbouring countries in the same corner of the world. There are a lot of subjects we can't adequately deal with just by ourselves. We need to work together. Not least the fact that we run a common market, the world's largest single market, which needs common rules for that common market on consumer protection, environmental standards and so on.
The real question is whether anyone will be listening to logic, whether they will be looking at the number of jobs that are linked to the EU, which we calculate to be about 4 million, in the UK, which are linked to our membership. The people will tend to vote more with their heart and not necessarily with their head, and it's how you get a message across that resonates that's going to be a really difficult act, I think, to put together.
I think you've got to make a more emotional argument, and I think also you've got to explain to people what the alternatives to our EU membership would be.
The message that we have to deliver is about hope, it's about Britain in the world, it's about a positive vision for this country and international leadership, but at the same time it's a message of change, that together with other socialist countries and parties across Europe we can really change the way that Europe is working now.